Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I'm doing a headline hook called the Lilagorgs. This is a Dungeons & Dragons adventure headline that leaps right from today. This is a Dungeons & Dragons adventure hook that leaps right from today's headlines, IRL. Today's IRL headlines, but becomes an adventure hook at your Dungeons & Dragons table. So with that, let's get into it. All right. So one thing that's really fascinating, I'll give you the headline first, right? There's a Dungeons & Dragons term that has recently gained a new meaning in IRL, okay? So here's the Dungeons & Dragons term, unicorn. Well, what's a Dungeons & Dragons unicorn? A Dungeons & Dragons unicorn is a magical horse that has a one, singular horn that comes out of the center of its head. It is incredibly rare. It is lawful good aligned, and it is usually found deep in forests. It is protected by druids. It is revered by elves. Anyone who loves the forest loves unicorns. They're really special, magical, rare creatures. Okay? All right. Now, what is an IRL unicorn? What is a unicorn in IRL? Well, this term has a new meaning in IRL, in real life, right? And that is a startup that has reached $1 billion in value. All right. Now, there is a new, exciting new unicorn called Bird. Okay, this is the headline. All right, Bird is the fastest unicorn. It is the startup that reached valuation of $1 billion the fastest. So Bird is a startup that that broke a historical record and became the first startup to reach $1 billion in valuation, right? Now, what does Bird supply? What is this startup's product? Well, it is electrical scooters that are put in cities all over the country, okay? Now, I recently saw these electrical scooters in Washington, D.C. in action. They are fascinating. They're electrical scooters. You ride around on them. You pick them up wherever you want. You just scan the QR code on the scooter, and then you jump on. They usually cost $1 to start and 15 cents a minute. You ride it to wherever you need to go, right? And then at that point, you can leave it wherever you wish. And then when people want to use it, they come out, see the scooter, and then they ride it to wherever they want to go, okay? At nighttime, there are people called juicers who pick them up off the street, charge them, and replace them in useful sites throughout the city. It is a brand new, burgeoning enterprise, right? And Bird is just one of the startups. There's also Lime, there's also Jump, there's also Skip, right? So these are all electrical scooter startups, and they almost all have things in common, which is the way they're starting up is they are not asking permission in these cities. They are simply placing these electrical scooters in cities and allowing people to ride them around, right? And then they are dealing with their maintenance. And the way they stop them from being stolen is they all have GPS trackers. So if you steal one, the company can easily come to wherever you live and say, hey, give me that scooter back, right? That kind of thing. All right, so this is a thing. This is becoming, a major thing within cities, and so this is a major new occurrence within the United States of America. How do you turn this into an adventure hook now I'm going to turn this into an adventure hook for your Dungeons & Dragons table right now. Okay, introducing the adventure hook, the Lilagorgs. Now, what is a Lilagorg? All right, so first of all, Lilagorgs are creatures, okay? They are a very unique creature. They're not in any monster manual, and they're a unique new creature for Dungeons & Dragons, being brought to me by you, being brought to you by me. All right, so let me describe a Lilagorg. They use the statistics for your Dungeons & Dragons game. They use the statistics of a horse. So they have all the movement statistics of a horse. They use all the attack statistics, all the attack abilities of a bear, okay? And then in addition to all of the bear's attack abilities, they have one more attack ability, which is a venomous spit. It's an acid attack. It's a ranged acid attack up to range 30 feet, and it does 1d6 damage, okay? And then it does 1d4 damage every round after that until the person has done something to remove the acid, okay? All right. Now, with all that said, right, let me describe what the Lilagorg looks like. The Lilagorg is as big as a bear, but it has 6 legs. Its head is a mixture of the features of a lizard and a bear, and the entire creature is covered with scale. It does not have fur. It is covered with scales like a lizard. They come in many, many colors. They come in pretty much all the colors, right? And actually, it's extremely rare for any of them to have the same color. So they can come in purple or white or orange or red, and they're usually pretty vibrant, okay? All right. Now, the Lilagorg, so now that you understand what a Lilagorg is, the Lilagorg will, in your campaign, in your campaign arc, right, in your story arc, you will place the Lilagorg in a city which the player characters visit. The Lilagorg adventure hook can be used in any city, but it can't be used in a town or a village. It just simply doesn't work. But in any city, the Lilagorg can be placed. All right, so the Lilagorgs are a new form of transportation that the residents of the city can use, right? Now, how do they use these Lilagorgs to take them where they wish? Well, the Lilagorgs are exactly what I described, but every single Lilagorg in the city, these transportation Lilagorgs, these Lilagorgs that are used for transportation, they all have a collar, a magical collar, all right? Now, by the way, they can carry 2 normal-sized human riders, each with a backpack, right? So they really can carry up to 600 pounds, right? And no problem. And they just kind of scurry along at the same speed that a horse could travel. Okay, they're quite quick. They can't climb walls or anything like that, right? They have the same traveling ability as a horse. Okay, all right. So now each Lilagorg has a magical collar. Those magical collars have 6 magical stones on them. Okay. Now the way that the Lilagorgs are used is that someone who wishes to ride one simply goes to the Lilagorg and takes a single silver piece and places the silver piece next to the center, the pay stone, right? They place this, and as soon as it gets within 6 inches of the pay stone, which is a magically enchanted stone, the silver coin is absorbed into the stone magically, okay? They then say where they wish to go, okay? There is a navigation stone on these Lilagorgs. The navigation stone will transmit, okay? They grow hot or cold for the Lilagorg whenever they come to a junction point where they need to turn right or left, okay? And so the Lilagorgs understand, and they are domesticated, okay? Well, and I'll tell you who domesticated them in a minute, right? So basically, the Lilagorgs will understand these navigation stones, and they can read the hot or cold that is transmitted through the stone, okay? And so once you get, and so they can go wherever they need to go, and the rider simply gets off when they've reached the point where they wanted to go is, right? And so you can go anywhere in the city for 1 silver, right? Now, that is the headline electrical scooter being introduced into your Dungeons & Dragons campaign story arc, okay? And that's how, that's how it's presented, right? Well, who controls these Lilagorgs? Who put them there, right? Well, the person who put them there is a half-elf by the name of Julathane. She is specifically a half-elf bard who has retired from the bard game, although she's only 35 years old, okay? Now, she is using the urchins of the city to care for the Lilagorg. They feed them. She gives them, she supplies these street urchins to watch over and take care of them, feed them when they need to be fed, to ride them to places where actually, if one gets off into a place where they shouldn't be, or if a whole bunch of people ride Lilagorgs to one particular place, and the navigation stones have a hard time getting them back, the urchins can solve, and the street urchins can solve any problems. Julathane, this retired ex-half-elf bard, okay, she put all of these Lilagorgs here, right, into the city, and she maintains this entire new industry, okay? Now, who created the magical collars, right? Well, that's the secret to Julathane's enterprise and why it's so cheap. Julathane has two brothers. They are both high-level wizards, but they are incredibly agoraphobic, right? So her two brothers, they are agoraphobic. They stay indoors and they never come out. She supplies everything they need, their magical needs, as well as their reading needs, as well as their food needs, all of that, right? And what they do in turn is they have created these magical collars. So they enchant the stones, okay? There is a security mechanism there's a security stone on each of the Lilagorgs, and if any of the Lilagorgs at any time are distressed or wounded, then it automatically one of the brothers will see through the Lilagorg's eyes, and usually they're able to tell where they are in the city, and they can dispatch the street urchins to give a good idea of what's happening. And Julathane, if there's really a problem, she actually has contracts with the city's Rogues Guild, not to steal anything, but to protect her Lilagorgs if one is ever being stolen or being harmed, right? Okay, so that's the security they use so that they're not stolen, right? Now, that relationship with the Rogues Guild, that's all she does with them. She doesn't have any other relationship with the Rogues Guild, but she does have that relationship with the Rogues Guild. And also to be clear, at this point, Julathane's entire agenda is to make this work. She truly loves the city she's living in, and she wants to have a robust enterprise where people can interact and be able to be transported throughout the city. That is her only agenda, right? She does have one secret, right? And that is, where do the Lilagorgs come from? Only she knows only she knows where the Lilagorgs come from. She is able to procure 10 new Lilagorgs per month, okay? And her secret, I'm not going to tell you. I know the answer to it. That's one thing that you'll need to supply as a dungeon master on where she's getting the Lilagorgs, right? So that is the adventure hook, Lilagorg, brought to you straight from today's headlines and brought to you from me, Scott Garibay. Please enjoy it at your table. Let me know how it works. And also, please, if you would, consider liking and subscribing. Thank you very much.